Hi, I'm Drew Flex. Welcome back to the channel. Join me as I'm fighting cancer with fitness. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and press the bell button so you can get the latest updates and notifications from me, Drew Flex. Today, it's a new year, so we're going to talk about setting goals. So, without further ado, let's do this. So a couple of weeks ago I was talking to one of my followers, my friends on Twitter, and he was in a bit of a muddle as to what he should do with regards to setting goals. And it got me to thinking, many of us are probably, undertaking fitness, or we want to, there's something that we aspire to do, but we're not quite sure what we want to do, what road we should take, or even probably what we would like to achieve. So I think the first thing is to actually think about what is it that we want. You may have an overarching desire or an overarching ambition or a goal that you would like to achieve. One of the most common ways of actually achieving your goals is to do this goal setting technique called S.M.A.R.T, which is an acronym for specific, measurable, actionable, relevant and time bound. And in today's episode we're going to actually look at what we can do in order to make sure that we're achieving our goals using S.M.A.R.T. So if we're talking about being specific, it's important to know that probably the less specific a goal is, the more difficult it's going to be to know how long it's going to take, how to measure it, or even what we want to do. If we talk about in fitness terms, let's think about three different examples. So you can have a goal to get healthy, or you could have a goal to lose weight, or you could have a more specific goal of losing 4 kilos. That actually gives you at least some idea of what you want to do. In terms of even training for your own physique, you could have a goal of, well, I'd like to get more shredded, or I would like to bulk up, or I would actually like to have a general classic physique look, or I'd like to have a more bodybuilder or maybe just an athletic build. All of these are specific goals that you can aim towards. Measurable is basically what determines success. Some things can be measured by a simple yes or no. Other things can be measured by metrics such as to lose 4 kilograms, or to have a shredded physique, or to bulk up. But make sure that whatever you do, that you have some standard and some bar by which to measure your success. In terms of the action plan, it's how will this particular goal be actioned? Do you have the capabilities? Do you have the resources? What things might be lacking? These are all questions that you need to ask yourself. What tools do you have available? These are all things that are going to help you plan how you're actually going to achieve your goal. You can break down your main goal into more manageable sub-goals. So for example, if your aim is to lose weight, you can lose weight and monitor it by each week. So you can track how much each week you're losing in terms of kilos. And then you can calculate by constantly evaluating what you then need to do in order to either increase your amount of activity or remain at a steady pace, depending on the rate at which you're losing that weight. It's the same as when you're training as well. Now, if you're finding that some body parts are lacking, then you might want to do extra exercises and different combination of exercises so that you can actually bring up those lacking body parts. So it's all about how you actually plan And like I say, it's all about how it's measured. For relevance, it's important to make sure that we are pursuing the right goal. And as I said before, it's really important about constantly monitoring and evaluating to make sure that we're on track with pursuing those right goals. For example, if we want to be more shredded, then we're not going to then get sidetracked and say, oh, but I would actually like to be more muscular halfway down the road. Although this is part of constantly reevaluating, but by actually sticking to what our goals are, we don't get sidetracked then, and then we're back to the beginning again, so that, you know, it actually throws us off course of what we were doing in the first place. So this is why it's important in the beginning to thoroughly consider what our goals are, and then by the time we actually get to this part, relevant, and we have our action plan, we make sure that we're actually following through and keeping on track and reminding ourselves what it is that we're trying to achieve in the first place. And evaluation comes during all of the steps of the SMART goal setting process. It's important at first that we set the bar low, so at least we know what our baseline is. Especially doing training, it would be foolish and quite dangerous to just throw ourselves in at the deep end and think, you know, I'm gonna go straight and bench 100 kilos. For myself, if I give an example, I went in and my aim was, without a spotter, I wanted to actually bench 100 kilos for 10 reps by the end of the year. Now, although I haven't got to that as yet, but it gave me a target which I measured over time. As you may have seen in my social media posts, by the beginning of this year, which is less than a 12-month period of when I started back training from May last year, I've actually done 8 reps for 2 sets on the same 100 kilo weights, including the bar. So if we're measuring it in terms of a 12-month period, then yeah, I am on track to actually achieve my goal, because I have set it for a year. So from May to May, once I actually do hit those 10 reps with no spotter on 100 kilos, and I can actually do that for 2 sets, then I've actually reached my goal. So then May this year, I can then set another goal. So maybe I might want to do 120, including the bar, and be able to do that for about maybe 6 to 8 reps. That leads on to the last part of the SMART goal setting. So we include a time that the goals need to be accomplished by. This helps to give us incentive, and it also helps us to set milestones and time frames within which we need to achieve these sub-goals and the overall goal that we're looking to achieve. It also helps us to monitor our progress. So if we look, for example, where we said we wanted to lose 4 kilos, we could then make this a lot more specific to, let's lose 4 kilos over the period of 6 weeks. Now, if we monitor after 3 weeks and we see that maybe we're not losing as much of the weight that we had originally planned, we might then want to go and reevaluate what is actually happening. Has our dietary intake habits, have those actually changed to support the weight loss? Are we doing enough time based and focused on exercise, and are we doing enough intensity in our exercise to be able to support losing some of that weight? So then once we actually go back and we reevaluate, we might then want to set new targets so that we can achieve the same goal. Goal setting is an ongoing process that requires constant reevaluation, retweaking, rethinking. And if we think of this in the context of life itself, life is not static, and life changes can also affect and impact on how we actually achieve our goals. Can we achieve those goals? You know, you've got things like house moves, illness, bereavement, other things that crop up. So we might then have to put certain goals on the back burner and then come to them at a later date. But it's always important that we do return to our goals when we can, and then continue to work on those goals to complete them. That's it. That's all from today's episode. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and press the bell button so you can get the latest updates and notifications from me, Drew Flex. I am Drew Flex, and until next time, stay flexing. If you're a fitness enthusiast looking for a personal trainer, gym or dojo, head over to sushifitness.com.